Thank you for tuning in to an episode of InRange. This is another one of our series regarding some of the parts and components we've decided upon for the What Would Stoner Do project.
Yep.
One of the things that we wanted to do with this rifle is make the AR-15 truly ambi.
Yeah.
And you know the AR-15's ambi friendly.
Yeah, it's not a bad gun.
It's not necessarily something you can't use as a left-hander,
right.
Especially once they added the brass deflector. Before that, it was problematic.
It was a little annoying.
As we learned in some matches.
Yes.
But we wanted to make it really, truly ambi. So the brass deflector does that job.
Yep.
But there's problems still. There's the safety, which is easy. You just put an ambi safety on.
Right.
Charging handle, we've already addressed.
Charging handle was basically ambi from the start, but we made it a little bit better with the Geissler.
Mag release is super simple. There's a number of on the market. We tried a few of them. They're all the same.
Yep.
Pretty much you have a button on both sides.
There's one tricky one, though.
The bolt release.
Yeah. Now, this is really, as far as practical matters, this is something for me, much more than for you.
It is, yeah.
The concept here is to make it ambi for left-handers. Well, I'm lefty, you're not. So we tried two different things. What we ended up deciding on was the PDQ lever here. And, well, I guess I should step back a minute and say, you do have a bolt release button here.
Yes.
And so there are options, which I'd used before, on how to run this with your left hand.
Oh, true.
Or rather with your right hand, because your right hand is your support hand. So you can load a mag and reach over and hit the button like this.
Yep.
But we really wanted something that was faster and better. And the PDQ ends up putting this thing just in the right spot.
First, we tried this.
But we tried that thing first. And the reason is the PDQ, you actually have to cut on the receiver to install.
You have to modify the lower receiver to it's not a lot, to a small degree, but you do have to modify your receiver to put it in.
But that thing you don't. That's just literally bolt on.
It bolts right on to the existing bolt release, and then
bolts.
sits in the trigger guard like this.
Yeah.
It's a bad lever. There are others on the market. This one happens to be the BAD lever.
Aptly named.
Yes, it is aptly named. So because we started playing with it,
I have to admit, when we put that thing in at the very first, my first reaction was, this doesn't seem like a good solution. But they seem to be popular, so okay, we'll give this a try.
and it was kind of bendy and wobbly. It wasn't. It didn't feel solid.
No, it definitely has a lot of wobble and flex to it.
We did
It
initially.
work.
We did see your speeds go up
Yes.
immediately.
Yes.
We saw we were timing because we're testing this under the clock, and your reloads immediately with this were improved.
Right, because I was able to use my support hand to load a mag, hit the button right here.
Look where your thumb went.
Yeah. And thus we get to the bad part.
This is the bad part. So, you know what you don't want to do is add controls inside your trigger guard. And you know what? And people say like the M1 Garand has the safety there. Yes, it does. However, your finger's in the trigger guard to turn the safety off, not to turn it on.
And I would argue that it's still not an ideal place to put a safety.
This is another control inside the trigger guard. And while I was trying to demo this for my own purposes, because we want both rifles to be identical. We want them both to be ambi.
Yep.
So I'm going to put these parts on my gun too, even though I don't need them. And I had this on there, and
We should say, for you, this is if you are forced to shoot from a support shoulder,
Yep.
now all of the ambi controls come into play.
true. Also, if you happen to use my gun too,
Right.
quite honestly. And in the process of testing this under the clock, you know what I did?
Boom!
I indeed.
Yeah.
Safely. I was pointed downrange at a target, but I was in the process of reload, went to go something, and I went to get on the gun, and I hit the bolt release, and in the process,
trigger.
and fired the trigger. What I did is I SERPA'd my
Yeah.
AR-15. I slipped
Exactly.
off the bad lever, and then accidentally fired the gun. That happened to me once, and I went, all right, no point, doop, put a dot. Then we went to a match. It was actually Arizona 2 gun. Guy named that we shoot with, Mark, very competent, well capable shooter. On the clock did it, because he had a bad lever installed, and he was DQ'd.
Yeah.
And he came over to me, and he never sent me the footage. He goes, I just DQ'd because of that. Right then, it happened to me, happened to him. It never felt solid. And so here's our answer for the bad lever. Here's what you do with it. Whoop. Don't use those. I'm not even going to send that to a viewer because we don't want to install those.
Yeah.
So we wanted to look for another solution.
And at that point, we went, well, really the only real other option out there was the PDQ, and it requires modification, but let's give it a try.
And turns out, here's one of the advantages of a G-Wax polymer lower. It's really easy to modify a polymer lower.
Yeah.
It literally is a 5-minute job, maybe. You want to be careful, but it's a 5-minute job with a properly sized Dremel tool.
Yeah.
And so what it does is it extends across. Maybe we could open the gun and show it on the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you have is you've actually milled a slot across. We're going to get a close-up on this. But the lever now activates on both sides. You have an ability to hit it normally, as you would as a right-hander. You also have a lever on the right side. We'll get a close-up of that in a minute. But that's all there is to it. So that's what you have to mill across.
Yeah.
But once you've done that, you now have something that's not invasive.
Yep.
And we did some testing with you actually today on this video, timing you with your old style reload and with the PDQ.
All right, let's take a look.
Let's cut to that.
So the original way that I reloaded with a non-ambi gun was gun goes empty. I'm going to grab the mag and hit the release button. And then I'm going to bring my new mag up, insert it, hit the bolt to release, and then go back to shooting. Now, that's not probably the recommended way. The more tactically sound way would probably be to insert the mag and then reach up and hit the release with this hand. But I never really got into the habit of doing that.
So all right, we're going to do a reload here. This is going to do it the old way. So Ian's going to pretend that he doesn't have the PDQ lever, and we're going to do it on lay timer.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
The timer of truth.
Go ahead and chamber your first round. It's one round in the magazine. He's going to run dry, and then he's going to change. From ready. Are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. You can't see that really well. 4.93.
Jeez, that's glacial.
We're going to do it a second time for just one more data point. Are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Worse. 5.71.
Jeez.
So you're in that 5-second realm with that.
I was fumbling a bit with it, but...
It is what it is. You did it twice. Your time is similar.
Now, what I can do with the PDQ is grab the mag, release it, bring my new mag up, in, and hit the release, the PDQ release, with my thumb. That should be a lot faster.
All right, now we're going to do it the new way with the PDQ lever. Go ahead and make ready. Stand by. $3.68.
That's definitely better.
That's a huge savings. Let's do it one more time.
See if it was a fluke.
Are you ready?
Hey, check it out. Do you see that?
Yeah, it went back into bat. What?
I did a press check with no forward assist.
Impossible.
Crazy. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we clearly fixed that. Are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. $3.62.
Well, that's fairly consistent.
They were both consistent. Your run with the old way was just around 5 seconds, plus or minus, and these were both 3.6, 0.7, plus or minus. That's a huge difference.
That really actually took a substantial amount of time off of my reloads.
It did. It really was a big difference.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I've been using this thing for a little while, and I've started to get the hang of it. Now, some people are going to say that I could be doing this more efficiently, either with the old system or with the new system, and you're true. That's true in both cases. However, the PDQ is set up to do this better for a left-hander, and as I practice it more, I will get more efficient with it. I would get more efficient with the original bolt release, the non-ambi one as well, but it would never catch up to where the PDQ allows me to be.
No, this is really an accelerator for you. And
Yeah.
so even if you could get better with your old method or improve your method with some other efficient way, if you were to practice with the PDQ lever, you will still be better.
I'll get more betterer.
You could be more better, and you would never be as good. You could never be as good as with the PD. You could never get as fast with the old method than you could with this device installed.
Exactly.
That's what I was trying to say.
I'm all in for this thing. I think it works great. I was initially dubious about having to modify the lowers for it. Not concerned about that at this point.
It was funny, the first one, when I installed the first one, I wanted to make sure we didn't mess up one of our true official What Would Stoner Do rifles. And I have Icarus.
Right.
If you guys have been watching for a long time, I have this one G-Wax lower that has bullet holes in it. It's been run over by a truck. It has pieces missing from the side. I'm like, well, I'll start with that one. And I didn't mess it up and installed just fine, but it gave me an idea of what I need to do for the next gun.
Yeah.
There are some people that manufacture the lowers already ready to go.
Yeah. So if you can get one of those, great. Although G-Wax doesn't. So
anyway, the PDQ lever now receives the
absolute in-range official stamp of hubris.
Done. Pick one up for yourself and get your AR-15 to be actually truly ambi versus just ambi okay.
And for sake of disclosure, as I recall, we paid for both of these. We
Yes.
never actually even talked to the company.
Nope.
This was just an accessory that we bought to try out ourselves.
These were
same with the bad lever.
The bad lever, which I just threw off into the desert, and the PDQ levers we just bought with our Patreon-supported money.
Yep.
So, guys, thanks for that.
If you enjoy seeing this sort of content, please do consider checking out our Patreon page. It is the support from you that makes it possible for us to do all of this. We are a fully viewer-supported channel, no YouTube ad monetization at all.